Hey everyone, we're back for another workout of the day. Today is an AMRAP, as many rounds as possible for 20 minutes. It's called Speed Racer, which is named that because these rounds should go pretty fast. You should aim for many rounds in 20 minutes. So it is going, but remember, form before speed and weight. So 5 cleans, 10 burpee bar jumps, 15 kettlebell swings, 20 sit-ups. And every time that you complete those 3 times, you're going to do 30 double unders or 60 singles. So we're going to go through all of those movements and the modifications, and then you can get started. Okay, so the first movement is going to be our clean. So we're going to start with a barbell, and then we'll move to the modifications. So with the clean, you want to set your fingers about thumb width away from the smooth part here. Zeus, can you move out of the way? Move. Okay. So we are going to step up to the bar. We want the bar to be as close to us as possible. It should be touching us all the way up. You want to keep that barbell in so that when you pull up, your shirt should actually be lifting up. That's how close it should be at all times. That is going to give you the most direct, straight route up to be able to engage your legs to drive the barbell upward. So we're going to set up at the barbell. We're going to pull that barbell nice and tight into our shins. We're going to pull our shoulders back. And I'm just going to start with the pull. We're going to pull our knees back and out of the way and pull up. So again, as you see, it's nice and tight. You see my shirt coming up. So once we finish that pull, finishing the pull means we're going to keep our arms straight, and as we come up and drive real hard with those legs, we're going to shrug upward, and this is when our arms are going to start to bend. So they shouldn't be bending here. You shouldn't be pulling the barbell up. You should be using the momentum from those legs, really driving those legs into the ground to push up the barbell. And then once your legs are straight and you've done your shrug, your arms are coming up, and then quickly through at the top. You get those elbows quick at the top. So this is what it's going to look like. Again. And we're keeping that chest always upward. We're never coming down with our chest. We are always pulling our knees back and out of the way as we come up. The barbell's in tight. And again, those quick elbows are going to make a difference. It should be landing here on your shoulders. You shouldn't be pulling and holding it here. So that's why we got to drive upward with our elbows and rest it there on your shoulders. So that's with the barbell. We'll come back to the barbell in a minute. So some of your modification options are dumbbell. So you're going to do 5 on each side. You're going to come down into a hang clean. So that means we're not going to start from the floor. We're going to stand up with the dumbbell. Our shoulders are going to be back, squeezed in the back. And we're going to pop up and catch in a quarter squat. And the same thing with dumbbell. We're going to catch in a quarter squat. We're not going to go all the way down. So again, my chest is up, driving up all the way. So that is the dumbbell. We can also use a kettlebell. Again, it's going to be 5 on each arm. This time we're going to start on the ground. We're going to come down into a squat. We're going to grab the kettlebell from the top here. And we're going to push up with our legs, pull back, and we're going to flip through and get that elbow through. So this is what it's going to look like. We want to do it nice and smooth, because if you do this flip thing, it's not going to feel really great on the back of your wrist there. Also, it's going to cause some bruising. Some people like that. So again, we want to pull up and through, and it should be a smooth movement, getting that elbow through again at the top. Another one, this is a great beginner one, is using a med ball. So we're going to come down and we're going to grab the med ball with two hands, one on each side. We're going to come down into a squat, keeping our chest up, and we're going to just flip, and we're going to come into a full squat for this one. So if you're doing the med ball, you can do 5 or you can do 10, whichever you want to do to push yourself. That is on you. Okay, you can also do the same thing with a slam ball, just a little bit smaller and a little bit heavier. So again, we're just going to come up. Okay. So those are the modifications. If you are just not ready or just not understanding that movement, you can just take a weight and do goblet squats. So we're going to set our feet about hip width apart, our toes slightly pointed outward. Our knees are going to follow our slightly pointed outward toes. We're going to come out with our knees, not forward, not together, really pushing them out. This is going to keep our feet flat on the ground. And we're going to come down to about parallel. So that's about here or a little bit lower, keeping that chest up and those feet flat the whole time. Okay, we're going to come back to the barbell real quick. If you're using a barbell, the next movement is going to be our burpee bar jumps. So we're going to complete a burpee first, and then we're going to jump over the bar. And that is going to be count as 1. So we're going to come down into that burpee. Maybe I should do it on this side. Come down into that burpee, touch the ground, jump back up. Now, you do not have to stand all the way up for this. You can stay low and jump. So we want to jump with 2 feet, no galloping over the barbell, or stepping over the barbell. We want a complete jump with 2 feet. And then we're going to go back down into our burpee and so forth. So modifications would just be without the push-up. Another modification would be a step out, and you can do it with or without the push-up. Yes. Now, or you can just do a regular burpee and no jump over. Now, if you're using one of the other tools we showed you, let's just say you're using the med ball. This is a great beginner tool. We're going to do the same thing. We're going to come down into that burpee, and we're going to jump with 2 feet over the med ball. Same thing with the slam ball, the dumbbell, or the kettlebell. So whatever you're doing, you can use that to jump over. You can also take a plate or another flat target and set it on the ground. Come down into the burpee. And again, you can modify the burpee and then jump onto the plate and so forth. And like I said, for anything you can do any of those modifications. You can take away the push-up in the burpee. You can do a walkout. If you're using a med ball, you can also use the med ball for the push-up part. And this is going to make it slightly easier because you're upright a little bit more. Try out different movements, see which one fits your level of fitness, and go for it. Always try to challenge yourself and make sure that you're keeping good form when doing any movement. Okay. Hey, Mia. So our next movement is going to be our kettlebell swing. So with the kettlebell swing, we're going to set up, we're going to have our feet a little bit wider than hip width apart. We are coming back with our hips. Our hips are coming back. We're not coming down. We're coming back. We're going to reach back to that wall there, keeping our chest upward, and we're bringing our hands back. So our outside of our wrist should be touching the inside of our thigh here as we come back. If you're touching anywhere above that wrist, you're probably doing one of a few things. You're either coming down into a squat. We don't want that. So that means really focus on driving those hips back. Your knees are only going to be slightly bent at all times. They're never going to be bent in a squat. The other thing that you could be doing is you're coming back, but you're leaning over just too far. We don't want that either. When you're doing any of those two things, you're really putting a lot of pressure on that lower back. So if you're starting to feel a little bit pressure, pain, tightness, adjust your movement. Great way to do this is by videotaping yourself or looking in a mirror and seeing how you're moving. So with the kettlebell, we're going to come back. We're going to come about eye height. And again, if you're not really sure how high you're coming, a great way to do it, videotape or a mirror. You can also use a dumbbell. And it's the same movement, just with the dumbbell. Or you can use a band. So to do this, we're going to step in front of the band. We're going to pull it through, and we're just going to use that to pull up. And another important thing, when you reach that height upward, you want to squeeze those glutes together at the top. So those are modifications. Our last movement in the rounds is going to be our sit-up. We're going to come down, touch those toes. Modifications to the knees. If you want to do crunches, that's fine. No hands behind the head. Try to reach for those shins. Okay, so that's all the movements in the workout, and then every time you complete all of those 3 times, then you're going to do 30 double unders, which is jump roping, passing the jump rope under your feet 2 times before landing. Make sure you're using your wrist and not your arms to swing the jump rope. If you're not ready for double unders, do 60 single unders, so just regular jump roping, passing it under your feet once, or you can do double taps, which is the rhythm of the double unders. So it's a great way to kind of get your mind into the movement as well. So that is the workout of the day.